What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another War Within video. Hope you're all doing very well. We had an idea for Mistweaver Monk. A little experiment, if you will. Something that we really just wanted to try. And I got this from lovely people on my Discord and in Twitch chat. And we just wanted to try this kind of wacky new build with Mistweaver. Now, I'm not running it right now because I've since shifted away from what we were doing earlier. But I will show you exactly what we're doing right here. So the crux of the build is a couple of things. It's a Mythic Plus build, and there's three major talent changes that are happening here. Number one, our buff to Chi-Ji, we're not taking Gift of Celestials, we're taking Jade Bond. Yeah, that's number one. Number two, not taking Crackling Jade Lightning, we're taking Dance of Chi-Ji. That's a huge one. I'll talk about that in a second. And then we're trying Rushing Wind Kick instead of Jade Fire Teachings, which is essentially means that your Ancient Teachings healing, so your healing through doing damage, is much lower. It goes from 160% down to 30%, because the baseline Ancient Teachings healing is 30% of the damage done. And then you buff that substantially when you take Jade Fire Teaching. So we're foregoing that, and we're saying, hey, we can actually heal without the the full Ancient Teachings buff, and it'll be okay. And that was the experiment. I'm going to show you the key that we ran it in. I'm going to put the talents down below on the right side of your screen. You'll be able to see them as we're going, okay? So, oh, I don't know why I just said that. So here's what we're going to do. The idea behind this is to see how much damage we can produce as a mystery run, because Rushing Wind Kick does about 3 times the damage that Rising Sun Kick does. And if you don't know how this works, Rushing Wind Kick will replace Rising Sun Kick. Like, look at my damage right out of the gates. Oh, sorry. Let's get this. There we go. Our damage is going to be very, very high all the time on every single pack, because we're also running Master of Harmony. We have 2 charges of Thunder Focus Tea, so we're constantly pressing Thunder Focus Tea into that, not Rising Sun Kick anymore, but Rushing Wind Kick, and it's doing a ton of damage, and it has a low cooldown. We press it again, another low cooldown, and then we reset it with Blackout Kick, with multiple Blackout Kicks, so you can get like 4 to 5 Rushing Wind Kicks in a single pack, and that is a tremendous amount of damage. That's how it works. Also, what I didn't really realize until partway through this dungeon was how often Dance of Chi-Ji was actually proccing, giving my Spinning Crane Kicks 400% more damage. And of course, they're doing healing as well. One thing that's really cool about the Spinning Crane Kick healing that I didn't think about before is that its healing is completely separate from Ancient Teachings. So the fact that we have like nerfed our Ancient Teachings healing from 160% down to 30 doesn't matter for the Spinning Crane Kick healing, because it heals all on its own based on the damage that it deals. Okay, it has its own like modifier. It's called Jade Fire Awakened Phaline is what it is, right? That's the Awakened Phaline healing. So it's really cool because you can sack your Ancient Teachings healing and pick up extra healing elsewhere, right? Through Spinning Crane Kick procs, and now having a very, very long Chi-Ji window, which you can actually reduce down to almost a minute anyway. So I'm going to show you that in a minute, but we're taking Jade Bond, which of course means our Chi-Ji is a 3-minute cooldown, but it lasts for 25 seconds instead of 12, and its Gust of Mist healing is increased, and we can cool it down every time we heal with a Gust of Mist. So you're going to see when I pop Chi-Ji, we're about to die here. This is the wipe, I think. This is where the mage leaves. This is awesome. This is what makes this key so difficult, is because this is the first time that I'm trying this build, the first time, and I have no experience doing it, and we end up having to do this key as a 4-man group, because right here, the mage leaves. Boom, there he goes. You can see him trotting off on the bottom left side of your screen right here. You can see him. There he goes. Little traitor. So he's gone. Now we have to 4-mana plus 10 with my new wacky build that I'm not really sure if it even works or how good it's going to be. So we persevere. It's okay. And I'm going to show you the Chi-Ji healing here. The cooldown reduction in particular. Oh yeah, we pull more here by accident. Do I pop Chi-Ji here? No. This is one thing I wasn't getting used to. So One thing I was scared of when I first started this build was, well, I need to hold my Chi cooldown because it's a 3-minute cooldown now, and I'm not going to have, like, I need it up for when I want it up, right? I need it up for the moments when it really needs to be up. And the truth of that is that that's just not true at all. You get cooldown reduction with Jade Bond, and you can see my little 3-minute thing here. It's starting to go around. Watch how quickly it goes around as I'm doing damage. You can see ding, 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 ding. Every time I hit blackout kick, it's like ding, 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 ding. Every time I hit a rushing wind kick, it goes down as well. You can see now it's at the 2-minute mark, and you're going to see the seconds tick down. 158 once I hit a blackout kick. 148 right there from a blackout kick, and then 143, 142. We're doing 140, 139. If I hit another blackout kick here, it should be big. 134. And then once Chi-Ji is gone, so when Chi-Ji is active, you get a lot of cooldown reduction because every time you use blackout kick or rising sun, which is not rushing wind kick, that Chi-Ji will kick up gusts of mist, and then that will cool him down, which is really cool. Once you're outside, once he's off, not active anymore, you still get cooldown reduction anytime you're kicking up a gust of mist as well. And guess what? Your rushing wind kick, which is rising sun kick, right? It always kicks up gusts of mist. So the cooldown of Chi-Ji keeps going down even when he's not active anymore, which is incredible. So on average, I was basically finding that my Chi-Ji cooldown was probably a minute to a minute and a half. It depended how good I was at actually getting the gusts of mist healing while he was active. So it really depends on how much uptime you can have, and you have to just go like Tiger Palm, blackout kick, Tiger Palm, blackout kick, Tiger Palm, that different, like Tiger Palm, blackout kick, you know, enveloping mist, because that will do, enveloping mist will proc a gust of a mist as well. So the cooldown reduction is entirely on you and how good you can play, how well you can pilot the Mistweaver Monk, and that's fine. What's really crazy about it is that on average, I was getting way more cooldown reduction than I thought I was going to get. I really thought that like it was going to be much worse than the Celestial's talent, which gives you a 1-minute Chi-Ji, but it's basically, you're basically getting a 1-minute Chi-Ji anyway, but it lasts for 25 seconds and does more healing. So it's just straight up better in my opinion, especially once you get really good at playing it. I feel like Jade Bond is just clearly better in every way than the Celestial's talent that I was used to taking, the 1-minute Chi-Ji talent. So we'll see. I'm going to keep experimenting with it, but every key that I've run since this first one, I've tried the Jade Bond, and it's just better. It's just better. And I'm getting better at cooling it down. Like, it's just so much better in my opinion. So this build, though, with the rushing wind kick, I'm not sure that I'm going to keep doing it in the higher keys. And in fact, I have done some higher keys since this one, and I got rid of rushing wind kick in favor of the Jade Fire Teachings buff to make your ancient teachings do 160% more. So the reality is, I don't think in the higher keys you can get away with doing rushing wind kick because you just lose too much healing, too much passive healing from your damage that's coming out all the time. Now, the things that I'm going to keep, I think, from this experiment are the spinning crane kick change, this Chi-Ji change, as I said, and then possibly one of the other T talents that I have to kind of mess around with. We're going to have to see where that goes. But we're also getting the 20% haste whenever our Celestial is up, which is at the very bottom of the tree right there. I think I have that one circled. So that one, of course, means that whenever Chi-Ji is active, we are super. It's like having a power infusion whenever Chi-Ji is up, okay? And if you have that, then it means that you can not only do a lot of extra healing while Chi-Ji is alive, but you can do a lot of extra damage. And that's kind of where this really starts to kick in, is the amount of damage that you can pump out in that one, because more haste for Mistweaver equals more damage. That's just the reality of Mistweaver. But you can see on every pack, we're doing like really crazy competitive damage here with that rushing wind kick. And unfortunately, in the higher keys, as I said, if you have to ditch rushing wind kick, which you're very likely going to have to do, you're going to lose a substantial portion of that damage. However, I started to learn partway through this dungeon that spinning crane kick procs all the freaking time, and it's very strong. It does a lot of damage, which I was not expecting. Usually by the end of the key, it was like 10 to 12% of my damage. Now, Crackling Jade Lightning, if you take the Jade Empowerment, that is probably going to do even more damage. Again, I need to do some more experimentation. The thing with Chiji, or thing with the spinning crane kick that I just want to mention, Crackling Jade Lightning probably does more damage and more healing when you have it available, which is only when you're pressing Thunder Focus Tea, right? Because that's what that talent does. The spinning crane kick stuff can be up all the time. You get procs all the time. And sometimes you'll get 3, 4, 5 procs in a row. And you'll just like spin, 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 spin. And everybody will get healed to full because of how strong it actually is. So there's a little bit of RNG there, but it can perform very, very well. Here's a spin right now. I'm going to spin and watch this guy's health go up. Look at it. We had 2 spins in a row and we just kind of got him back up to top. So while doing big damage. So I think to me, the last part about the spinning crane kick thing that I'll say is that it also kicks up gusts of mists. It has a chance to with your crane style talent that says Rising Sun Kick always kicks up mists. Blackout Kick and spinning crane kick have a chance to kick up mists. And so that is substantial because of the amount of times that it procs and how often you can actually use it. And as a result, how much additional cooldown reduction you can get on Chiji. I want to show you right here. Look at the 3-minute cooldown. Watch this. Watch the little bar go around. It's like a little clock, right? Every time I'm using Blackout Kick, Rising Sun Kick, or Rushing Wind Kick here, or Spinning Crane Kick, it's bringing it down. The Crackling Jade Lightning stuff does not heal through gusts of mist at all. It only heals through ancient teachings. So there's an extra little layer there for spinning crane kick, a case to be made, I would say, for spinning crane kick. And you can see by the time Chiji faded, we had about 1.5 minutes left on Chiji's cooldown, and we're going to continue to cool him down now. So again, I just don't see any value really in ever taking the 1 minute Chiji talent now, because we can always get him down to 1 minute. Anyway, here's boss damage. This is single target damage with Rushing Wind Kick. It's kind of insane. We're also doing healing. There's some spinning crane kick healing there. It doesn't look like it should be a lot, but it always surprises me how much it is. And our damage, we're almost doing 1 million damage per second on a boss with not a real lust. This is just drums that I had because we lost our lust because he left at the beginning of the key. So anyway, the damage is kind of outrageous. It will start to fall off as this boss fight goes on. But it's just like, if you can maintain uptime with Rushing Wind Kick, it does so much damage. It's just outrageous how much damage this thing does. And it still heals through ancient teachings, which is nice, but certainly not as much as if you had the Jadefire teachings buff. But we'll go to the end here. I'll show you the last boss, but we do actually end up timing this key with only 4 people alive the entire time. And this last boss fight, we had 4 melee, which is like literally worst case scenario because you have to pre-spread so you don't knock each other away when you get the circle debuffs. It's a bit of a nightmare. So like you can see they're doing a good job of being pre-spread there, but kind of hilarious. And then that guy dies there. Malaz dies, so we lose a little bit of time. And then I think one of our pallies dies partway through this fight, which is also a little unfortunate, but that's okay. Then we're on to the next zone. Yeah, there's not too much to talk about here, but my main points here would be to say, I don't think Rushing Wind Kick is viable in like a plus 12, right? Or above. I think in a plus 10 or 11, you could actually do this build and it would actually be okay, which is crazy. But once you get to like 12 and above, I think you do need to go back to Jadefire teachings. I don't think that's an option at all, but the other parts of the build, I think, are totally an option that you could try and are worth exploring. And it's something I'm going to continue to explore on my stream because I took this build into a plus 12 key with the Jadefire teachings instead of the Rushing Wind Kick, and we actually timed it. So I think the spinning crane kick portion of this build and the long Chiji portion of the build, those two things in particular, I think are massive and actually perform much, much better than I thought they were going to, which is really, really cool. Very, very surprised by that. So I'll show you the overview in a second here. We're gonna time this key. We kill Vikoth there, boom, and then I think I show my damage and healing here. So there's our damage. Rushing Wind Kick, of course, is just kicking everything else in the teeth because it does so much damage. I had a Rushing Wind Kick hit for 3.4 million damage. Like, it is just such an outrageous amount of damage that it does. Unfortunately, you're giving up a substantial amount of healing to take it. So it's going to be about that trade-off and whether or not it's actually kind of worth it. And then our healing, I thought I was going to show it here. I should show my healing. There we go. So Ancient Teachings, Gusts of Mists. Again, the gusts are coming primarily from that long Chi-Ji, right? Because he's up for 25 seconds every time he's up. And because we have him every minute or a minute and a half, then he's up a lot longer. He's doing a lot more healing with Gusts of Mist. And then Awakened Jadefire. That is just from Spinning Crane Kick. The amount of healing that comes out of the Spinning Crane Kick damage is crazy to me. I did not realize it was going to be that big. So very, very cool. 10.5% of our healing just from spinning. And then it also did a significant amount of damage. So that's my little experiment. And unfortunately, we had to do it with 4 people, but we managed to pull it off, which I think really does speak to how good the build is and how viable it can be in this Mythic Plus environment. Again, I think once you get to the higher keys, it's not going to work out quite as well. You're going to have to drop Rushing Wind Kick for Jadefire Teachings and then do a build that's something like this. I think this could work with Jade Bond and Spinning Crane Kick. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Would love to hear from you guys there. Any ideas that you might have about this build or Mistweaver, if you've been experimenting, let me know. I'd love to hear about it. It would be really fun. I kind of love doing this stuff because it's just fun and crazy and wacky, and I'm doing it on stream every day. So come check out the stream, twitch.tv/ZukoVibes if you want to see more. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Love you guys. I will see you in the next one.